Now, let me tell you, Frankie just does the most. In a recent interview, this man decided, okay, if for you who don't know who Frankie Just is, he was in a relationship with Maureen Waitito. They had 2 children together, and then they ended that relationship, and he got into a relationship with Corazon Kwamboka, and they have 2 children together, and then that relationship didn't pan out. Or, people are thinking maybe they got back together, but turns out that relationship ended. Now, speaking to a Tanzanian blog, he said that he can only narrow down the reason why he broke up with both of these women to the fact that they have daddy issues, which is very insulting. Because if you are the common denominator in these 2 failed marriages, are you not the issue? If 2 plus 2 is 4, then what the hell are you doing? Anyway, this is what he had to say. He said, the 2 women who I have been with, they didn't have a father figure. This is something even Corazon and I talked about. She never had a father figure. Her dad wasn't really there full time. So when the dad would come around, he would only ask for something. And then he goes on to say, he goes on to say, even when I show her unconditional love, she tries to put a condition to it, because he's just saying basically her love is conditional. And then he went on to say that even, like something as small as getting her flowers would have to have a condition to it. And that's just how Corazon would respond to the things that he'd do. She'd be like, so what do you want? You've done this for me. What exactly are you looking for? However, Corazon did not take that kindly, and she posted and said, imagine telling someone something in private and in confidence with full vulnerability, then they use it for clout. Hashtag been done. I choose to remain silent for the sake of my children because I know one day they'll be grown. And okay, that's a mature response from Corazon. On the other hand, Maureen Waitito did not respond, so good for you, girl. Just ignore this man. But the audacity to be out here talking about the mother of your children in such a light, why would you even do this? Regardless of the fact that you guys have broken up, you shouldn't open your mouth and bad talk and bad mouth the mother of your children. She is the mother of your children. When your kids grow up, they're going to see these things on the internet. When we can all see, when it's apparent to all of us that you are the common denominator in these 2 failed situations. So the problem has to be you, or you contributed to it somehow. So for you to kind of blame all of this on the fact that your baby mamas did not have father figures and they had daddy issues, does that mean that you prey on women who have daddy issues, use them for a certain period of time, and then dump them? Allegedly, because I don't want you to sue me. But it didn't sit well with me. It was just very cringe for you to go on a whole show and talk about that. Although, in his defense, Frankie said that conversation was off the record. But also, if it was off the record, why are you still speaking to strangers about your business? Why? Why would you do that?
I feel like I struggle with men who are constantly feeling the need to compensate, either undercompensate or overcompensate for whatever reason. And in this case, I feel like Frankie is always this guy who's either overcompensating for something or undercompensating for another thing. He will always try and find a way to add a narrative that doesn't exist. Recently, we saw him speaking to Eve Mungai, and then when people asked him about the relationship or the breakup of that relationship, he was quick to say that he's playing Kama Pogba. And we're like, okay.
What does that even mean?
For what reason? If you guys are broken up, you're broken up. Stop making it look like for one reason or anher, you're have a complicated relationship. And then very quickly post a picture of yourself in front of her car saying that, something about she giving you time and me, I waste hers. I'm just like, for what reason? You're posing in front of your girlfriend's car, in front of your baby mama's car, and trying to look rich and vindicated, and yet it's not even yours. He has prompted so many different conversations around himself and his baby mamas because he constantly feels the need to give us and ply us with information we genuinely don't need. Look, if you respect these women enough and you respect the sanity of not just yourself, but the women involved and the children involved, you need to stop running your mouth because, honey, you're doing too much. And it's just, it's off-putting. It's not very masculine. It's just very, I don't know what you're trying to find this dish for. I don't know why you're trying to give us dish. We don't care about it. But it could also be one of those situations where you're trying to justify a relationship with a new person. And they're like, no, but then last time you said that you and your girlfriend are still together. And you're like, no, I'll say something or swear I'll say something online and I promise you, you will believe me. So I'm like, why? Why are you trying to bait women with other, it's too much. Frankie, stop.
Yeah, and the fact that Corazon has gone to such great lengths to show how compatible and how well the co-parenting thing is going. So for you to just turn around and do the most
piss on it
is very disgusting. So I'm being told that Maureen Waitito actually did respond to that. Yes. And she said, what happens to a Kenyan between birth and death? She's just speaking about character development, you know, the things that people do to just be justifiable, to just be relevant. Because what's the end game? You know, like, what do you gain from this? Apart from painting the mother of your children, the mothers of your children.
Exactly.
In bad light. And it doesn't paint them in a bad light.
Drag them?
It's now you. It's now a you issue. We're looking at you and thinking, wow, this guy has issues, because why would you put that out there?
If you can say these things publicly, imagine the things he says in private to these particular women and their relationships. And you're like, okay, I see why they don't stick around too long. As in, you can't be, what? Frankie, please be a man.
No wonder.